Hey everybody, welcome back to Midwest Microbrew, where we tell the stories about the people and the pints that define our region. Today we're heading down to Oskaloosa, Iowa to sit down with Jeremy Hunt, the head brewer at NoCoast Beer Company. Jeremy isn't just a brewer, he's an industry veteran with a background at legendary spots like Dogfish Head. Today he's taking us behind the scenes and we'll be diving into the science of consistency at scale, the unique approach to blending East and West Coast styles into a Midwest IPA. Let's jump into the interview. Thank you for joining us today, Jeremy, on Midwest Microbrew. It's really a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. If maybe just to start out for the audience, would you be able to tell the audience a little bit about what you're doing over at No Coast and what your role is there?
Okay. Well, I'm the head brewer at NoCoast. I've been here in Iowa for about little over a year and a half, a year and 8 months, I think.
Mhm.
But I've been brewing professionally for 24 years. I've actually never done anything except brew beer out of
Cool.
college. But yeah, ended up here. I was looking around. We were in Virginia previous to this,
Mhm.
and yeah, up and moved my wife and six kiddos here. My oldest boy is actually working with us.
Oh,
He's
cool.
learning. He's in the cellars, so he's busy transferring beers and carving beers and kegging and blah blah blah, blah. All the
Yeah.
stuff that I'm too old to do. No, no, not really. I still do it.
Yeah.
I still get my boots. I still get my boots dirty, and I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Um, but yeah, a little bit about No Coast. They started here in Oskaloosa, Iowa, in 2016. It was sort of a meeting of the minds. Yeah, Brandon, who owns the brewery and also our parent company, Mahaska Bottling, he's the fourth generation of his family ownership. And Mahaska Bottling itself goes back to like 1889.
Oh, wow.
And they patented, I believe, I don't know much about that, but they patented like a hand pump and a barrel attachment for carbonated soda. So this used to actually be where the brewery actually stands is the well and the previous Pepsi bottling facility
Wow.
here in this area of the Midwest. Anyway, there's a bunch of mom and pop ones, but they were doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So they've been in drinks like forever, and this was sort of a passion project for Brandon, is my understanding. And we try and do a little bit of everything. We do beer, obviously, because that's why we're talking. But we also do cold brew, coffee, and a bunch of other stuff. So we're busy folks,
Yeah.
and it tickles a lot of different parts of all of our brains.
Yeah, definitely. I was reading about you guys a little bit more on the website and I saw the cold brew. I thought that was interesting too. It's not too many breweries you see doing
Oh
both
yeah,
coffee and beer, but it's
the
really cool.
breweries don't like the FDA coming in poking around, but we try and keep our stuff tight. I've been doing beverages for long enough that we got it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, so you've done it right out of college, so obviously you have a pretty big passion for it. What made you decide you wanted to get into all this?
Man, I've said this on podcasts before, but it's the honest to God truth. I went to school to discern the Catholic priesthood,
Oh,
and
really? Huh.
yeah, I met my wife, so that kind of went away. But one of the guys that was living in the same dorm as me, he was from Georgia. His name was Thomas. One day in passing, he'd asked me, "Hey, you want a beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want a beer." And so he handed me a beer, and we started drinking. I was like, "Why isn't there a label on this? What are you actually giving me to drink?" He was like, "Oh, I made it." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And brought me into his dorm. Completely not okay, but he was
Wow.
brewing beer inside of his dorm. He had, it was an old converted hotel, so it had a bathroom with the tub and the whole bit, and he has his stuff soaking. And I'm like, this guy's a wild man. This guy's a madman. Opens up, one of the closets. There's a bunch of carboys in there and stuff. And
Mhm.
I thought this dude was an absolute lunatic, but I also thought he was a wizard.
Yeah.
And I wanted my friends to think I was a wizard too, because I didn't know you could do this stuff at home.
Yeah.
And after that, I just went kind of bananas, went full crazy, and
Wow.
started learning everything I could, reading. Like there wasn't a whole lot on the internet back in. Well, there was a lot on the internet, but not a whole lot of internet stuff regarding brewing back in
Mhm.
2000. Gosh, no, it'd have been like 1999, I guess. Like thinking on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably around 99, 2000, something like that.
Cool.
And it just was a hobby that got out of control. And then I got sent to school and stuff. So
Yeah. That also, right? But
yeah,
yeah. No, that's super cool. That's a unique origin story. I mean, there's always people like that at college who are getting into the crazier things, but I mean,
yeah,
that's awesome.
better than math.
Yeah, I would say so too. I would tend to agree. Um, so getting into a little bit about the brewery now, I know this is a trickier question just because it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to pare it down. But how would you describe the brewery in one sentence to someone who's never been there before?
In one sentence,
Yeah.
I would say the details matter.
Hmm.
Um, I've been doing this long enough and I've seen enough things that if you want, one of those kids like those newfangled hazy IPAs, I can make those. Um, I can make lagers. I mean, I was head brewer at Dogfish Head for a number of years.
Hmm.
They taught us how to make all kinds of stuff. They were throwing stuff at us left and right. It was hard to keep track. So we can do anything, but the details are what matter. Sam's Dogfish Head, the owner there, Sam Calgione. He always said it was like analog beer for the digital age, or we can be off-centered about the beers that we produce, but completely meticulous about how we produce them. So
Yeah.
for me, the details matter, and that's in every single can. That's in every single pull off of the bar.
Yeah.
We pay attention to details.
Yeah. That makes total sense. That's a good way to put that. Definitely, it sounds like you've got a really refined practice in making beer over there. So
Always learning though. That's the key,
yeah.
man. Like we don't rest on our laurels. I'd rather, well, if I'm not learning something, why continue to do this? I could learn something else and
Yeah.
put another, arrow in my quiver. This keeps getting me going. It keeps me engaged. I'm always learning something. There's always
Yeah.
something new. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool little life.
Certainly more fun that way.
Hell yeah.
So NoCoast has been around for a number of years now. Do you get a lot of like regulars or familiar faces coming in?
No, we're just a brewery, no tap room, no nothing, but
Oh, never mind.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people will come in, but usually it's people who work here
Yeah.
and we'll sit down and
Yeah.
chop it up.
There you go. That's all you need. Probably a lot of fans at least, for sure.
Yeah, but we're able to get engagement where we can. So at like festivals
Yeah.
and out just in the marketplace doing samplings and this and that. You always we've actually been surprising a lot of people even in town. Like
Hmm.
folks don't know that we are here. People who
Huh.
live here. So yeah, we're doing a better job about getting out there a little more and yeah, turning people who you wouldn't think would be into craft beer,
Hmm.
into craft beer lovers. That's kind
Yeah.
of the goal.
Well, that's such a good goal too, and I mean that's rewarding when someone's not into it initially and you can play
Yeah.
a role in that conversion.
Yeah, the goal is to have something for everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got a pretty like a wide range of obviously with the cold brew and the brewing,
Oh yeah.
um, wide range of stuff for all your
Yeah,
customers.
we'll go anywhere from, a pale ale to a 13.5% Imperial Stout with
Oh wow.
cocoa nibs and, vanilla beans that were like
Mhm.
hand processing and stuff. But it's kind of interesting. Like the setup is cool for me. I've brewed beer in a bucket. I've brewed beer on 100 barrel fully automated system, and we're kind of right in the middle there with a 20 barrel system. So it gives us some flexibility. We're still able to, especially in this economy right now, we're able to be
Yeah.
nimble and
Mhm.
turn on a dime if we need to. So 20 barrels is for the mainstays and just getting them done the way that
Mhm.
we know we want to get them done, and then. We have a little 1 barrel pilot system. That's what we made the Imperial Stout on, and it was just for us. It's not even out in the marketplace. We just did it because we wanted to,
Yeah.
which you don't really get at many breweries. You don't get that flexibility, but here, we're able to do some stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that flexibility is crucial. So yeah,
Thank
that's one of the perks. Not about like a smaller system, but a system where like you don't have to commit to making the same thing for a
you.
really long time. So that's really
Mhm.
cool. Um, so I know that I saw you guys at the Coralville event. Do you have any other
Mhm.
regular events that you participate in with the community?
We definitely do the one at the waterworks in Des Moines.
Hmm.
I know it's still kind of new to me, so I
Hmm.
know we did a Sour Fest once, and there was I don't remember where that was. There was another one up at Clear Lake that we've been to. But but yeah. I mean, we get out there more in the summertime, but Burfest is something that we look forward to for sure. And
Yeah,
in the Winterfest in Coralville, it's a good time.
absolutely. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a great time. It's amazing how
Yeah,
many brewers are there.
yeah, no
Um,
joke.
yeah. So let me think. I wanted to get into the beer and brewing question since you're
Yeah.
the head brewer. What's your brewing philosophy when you're making stuff? Like what kind of drives your decisions?
Um, this long into my career, I'm not
Mhm.
making beer for me. I hardly drink. I really do. I mean, I'll tip back a pint, every now and again, but more or
Mhm.
less it's, if I have my smoker going at home, I'm not a daily drinker anymore. Not because I have trouble with it, but it's just that, man, I just don't have the time. I have 6 kids. I don't
Yeah,
go out to the bar that often, but when my wife and I do go out for a drink, it's usually, it's going to be beer, and it's going to be craft beer too. I don't
yeah,
drink a whole lot of macro stuff unless the smoker's going. Then I'm drinking hams or.
yeah.
What was that? Somebody turned me on to something around here that I'd never had, but Green Belt Northeast. Man,
Oh,
I
really?
like that beer.
Huh.
That
I don't
I
know if
like.
I've tried that
That
one.
I'll drink when I'm smoking. When I get the smoker going or something. That's
Yeah,
when that's when I'll drink that. But
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So walk me through your core lineup, like kind of what styles are always available on tap.
Okay. That's actually changing for this year. We're
Oh, really?
we're changing things up, bringing back beers that we were doing previously that I kind of wanted to retool. And
Hmm.
that one specifically is Yoga Poser. So I don't know if it's backwards, probably backwards on the screen, but this is our pale ale. But you know, it was a 2016 pale ale, one of the first beers that we released as No Coast.
Hmm.
And I came in and saw it and said, I think there's some things that we could not make that a 2016 pale ale. Maybe we can make it a 2027 pale ale. So
Hmm.
we leaned the beer out a little bit, kept the color around the same, but using different malts,
Hmm.
and tried some new techniques. The neat thing about Yoga Poser is that it has old school hops and new school hops. So for the old school hop, it's Citra. I'm sorry, it's not Citra. It's Cascade. For the new school is Citra, and we smatter a little Simcoe in there too. But this is yeah, it's like old school meets new school sort of pale ale, and
Awesome.
we use those hops differently. Whereas you would just load up the whirlpool still hot right after the boil
Yeah.
with this, yoga 2.0 is what I'm calling it, but we actually do a cool pool technique where we cool all of the wort after it's boiled down,
Hmm.
and then at about 170 175 degrees we'll add a pretty decent charge of Citra and Cascade, and
Huh.
then you're not isomerizing the alpha acids and getting bitterness necessarily from it. You're
Hmm.
getting more of the aromatics of both of these hops, and we're getting the best stuff that we can find. I have a lot of connections, so
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the industry. It's
Yeah.
not what you know necessarily; it's who you know in some cases. So
Oh, yeah.
for yoga, yeah, that's definitely the case. So that's one of our mainstays.
Hmm.
Second mainstay was the first beer I designed when I got here, and it's called Midwest IPA.
Yep.
And this is, it's not a West Coast IPA. It's too fruit forward for that.
Hmm.
It's not really an East Coast IPA because it's, brilliantly clear. So it's a Midwest IPA. We actually add a little bit of corn in the batch too, in the beer, just to bring the body down a little bit. So it's not too hefty. It's a little leaner than that. But we're using some really rad hops. I was talking with John Kimmich from Alchemist at one point. He was cool enough to give me a call back because I had a couple of questions. And we were talking about the hop from West Coast hop breeding called Mackenzie, which is like an uber new school sort of centennial or something like that, but it's a little more flinty and a little more fruit forward.
Hmm.
So that's the main star of the show in that beer. But we also use interesting hops that not necessarily everybody's using in IPAs. Idaho Gem is one of those ones that I really really like. Cashmere is one of the hops that's how do you explain it? It's a USAID
Yeah.
hop, so it's one of, well, I mean, our tax dollars, your tax dollars, my tax dollars go to people figuring out new varietals. Cashmere is one of those. And then there's some Citra just because everybody likes Citra. There's
Yeah.
nothing I like about it.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, but that's a fun one. But the one, I don't know, I'm not proud of all of them, but the one that if you're gonna catch me drinking a beer or sneaking a beer after work, it's probably gonna be Heritage. This
Hmm.
is our classic amber lager. There's nothing funny about this beer. There's nothing to hide behind. It's an amber lager.
Mhm.
It's as advertised, but at 4.5%, it's pretty crushable.
Yeah.
And it's right now like the flagship beer for us.
Oh,
And
cool.
and so we're pushing pretty hard on that. And that honestly, that ends up in my refrigerator more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our top three sort of lineup, and then throughout the year, obviously, we're going to have some seasonals, and we're going to do some wacko stuff. So
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those wacko things is this. It's called Terpene Dreams,
Oh, yeah.
and there's no pot that's harmed in the making of this beer. It's all terpenes that people can. Well, this company Abstracts out of California, where weed is legal,
Hmm.
like mapped out what any kind of whatever kind of cannabis you want. This one that we used is Pineapple Express, but they
Huh.
mapped it out to what the oil content is, what are the aromatics of this particular strain, and they went and found those particular chemical compounds in, like, they can find beta citronellol in coriander, and they
Mhm.
found farnesene probably from hops or something, and myrcene from whatever, and they just kind of put them back together, reconstituted them in the proper formulation. I mean, this smells exactly like my 20s. This smells exactly like my pre-college days, but it's actually a really, really nice little pale ale.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy. It's about 5.5, I think. 5.5%, so it's still fairly crushable.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, didn't harm any grass in the making of this. Um,
Well, that's always good to
well,
know, you know.
yeah, it's all hops and fun.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. That's a good way to put it. It smells just like your 20s.
It really does, dude. Like, I mean, I could crack it. It's like way over here. I could crack
Mhm.
it open right now, and it's whew, going
Yeah.
the Wayback Machine,
Yeah, that's fun. I like some of those crazier beers out there. It's always fun to
right?
try something like that.
Something
You
like it
mentioned.
was a hit of that. I could not believe that people were drinking as much as they were of that beer at
Yeah.
the Burfest.
Oh,
That
yeah.
and the Imperial Stout, yeah, I mean, it was flying.
Well, that's probably one of those ones where the word just gets around, like
Yeah.
just the people out there, like, hey, you gotta try that one.
We had one guy come back like 8 times. I ended up giving him a hat. He was cool as heck. That was all he wanted to drink. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And no munchies, which is sort of cool.
Yeah, well, that's a benefit, right? You don't
Yeah.
don't got to worry about it. Yeah,
Yep.
this is just something that popped in my head. You mentioned that the with the Midwest IPA, right?
Mhm.
You said that wasn't West Coast or East Coast. It's
Yeah.
no coast, right?
Yep. That's right. There you go,
Absolutely.
man.
Um, so what's your out of those that you showed me, which one's your most popular? Like I
Most
know.
popular is the Heritage. The Heritage kills
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
It yeah, that's one that's if you go to Hy-Vee, they definitely have some Heritage,
Yeah.
um, and we're pretty well distributed. We're all the way up to we have one of our locations, not the brewery, but like our distribution like arm is up in Spencer, and we have one in Charles City. We've got one in Hiawatha, and then Oskaloosa down here in Urbandale.
Yeah.
And then there's other locations. Really, if we want to expand, we have locations, or a location in Nebraska, a location in Kansas as well. So I mean, Texas,
Yeah.
rando, but yeah,
Yeah, that one's
Texas.
a little further.
Yeah, that one's a little further. But yeah, we could distribute to any of these locations if we see the need to grow, or we have the desire to grow. And yeah, we actually have the capacity here to do it, which is sort of rad. It's nice to be
Yeah.
involved in a well established sort of company with a plan.
Absolutely. Yeah, super cool. That's awesome. Um, you mentioned that you have good connections for your ingredients. Are
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of them sourced locally, or how are you sourcing your ingredients?
Where we can, yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm working with local farmer right now to just. It's not beer, but it's like uh, not even non-alcoholic beer. It's like a malt tonic kind of thing. It's something that we're
Huh.
just kind of working on. But he's a local farmer that wanted to farm some grain and have something that he could make with his kids. So
Yeah.
in those kind of instances where we're using the one barrel system, yeah, we can do something like that. But really, if we want consistency, we have to go with you know the right place to grow is in the northwest of the United States for us, or
Yep.
maybe even Canada to a point, and then hops.
Yeah.
Hops are a little. You can go across the pond and get stuff as long as you're at latitude 42. Hops grow very very well,
Hmm.
but over here it's either Idaho, um, or really the Pacific Northwest. Honest, although I have found some hops in Michigan that are pretty banging
Hmm.
consistently. Like it's like Chinook from Michigan is crazy.
Good spot, whatever
Absolutely.
it is.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really good. It's a really that's the terroir of beer. I don't want
Yeah.
to sound as snooty as like wine folks, but yeah, there is something to the growing regions and the locality. I mean, for us, beer is ag, and ag is a big
Yeah.
deal here in Iowa, especially. So um, yeah, we try and use local ingredients where we can,
Yeah.
but most of the time we're getting it from somewhere else where it's consistent supply. That's important too,
Yeah.
because we don't want to have somebody have a different beer every time they have it. That's not good for growing a brand, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you're getting super quality ingredients. It sounds like you really know your stuff with the latitudes and everything
People
for
have been really kind to me and given me a lot of information, so I get to stand on the shoulder of giants, really.
absolutely. And yeah, it's good that you have the experience that you do. That's
Yep.
really working out. Um, what kind of seasonal or limited releases should people be looking out for? I know you mentioned seasonal stuff.
Oh, sure. Normally, we do an Oktoberfest every year. That's one thing that we always look forward to. That's my favorite beer style to brew, and it's my favorite beer style to drink.
Yep.
And I wish we could have December Fest and May Fest and July Fest, but it's not going to sell. So
Yeah.
we do it in September, when the Oktoberfest comes around, because that makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, obviously Oktoberfest. In the summertime, this year we're going to try something a little different and have a single malt, single hop, um, clementine, and well, it'll be citrus. I'm not exactly sure, but I think we're going to do tangerine and clementine.
Yeah.
Um, Working name is going to be, oh, what was it? Peel Good. So we're working on that. Yeah, and then wintertime, people are always, clamoring for pecan sticky bun, which is like a pastry brown ale, and that just sells like hotcakes for us, and people um, drink it on up. We get our pecan rolls from Yarsma Bakery, which is just right up the street. There's a local
Cool.
ingredient, I
Yeah, there you
suppose.
go.
Those go right in the mash tun, and yeah, we mix their peanut butter with our jelly and come up with pecan sticky bun somehow. But yeah,
Awesome.
it's a good time.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, it's a lot of delicious things to look forward to throughout the year for sure.
That's why, I mean, I drink seasonally too. So I mean, for me, that's a big win. We're able to release seasonal beers at the proper time to drink them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge draw for people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For someone new to the world of craft beer, what would you recommend as an introduction out of your beers?
Out of all of our beers, if you want to try something a little bit hoppy, you're just kind of like dipping your foot into it.
Hmm.
I would say Yoga Poser Pale Ale. It really is a very very approachable pale ale. Um, if you're not into hops, I mean, the heritage is like super super crushable.
Hmm.
Think something along the lines of like a Shiner Bock or something like that.
I
Like you
love
can
Shinerbach. Yeah.
you can just drink it. You know what I mean? You don't have to
Mhm.
think too much about it, but you enjoy it. Because it seems to have a little more substance to it than your industrial macro lager. But made, I mean, this thing, it ages at least 6 to 8 weeks. Like we're lagering it properly and doing all the German and Czech stuff, all
Yeah.
those traditions. In fact, like the beer, I wasn't going to brew it. I had no intention of brewing this. Like when I started, but we met. What was it? Zoo Brew was a little festival that we do at the that we participated in at the zoo in Des
Yeah.
Moines, and this young lady, Brigitta, she's our friend. She became fast friends with us at the brewery. And she says, my mother used to brew beer. She's from Germany, and her mother's from Germany too. And she goes, I have a recipe. Would you like to see it? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
bite. And it was something that was like just a really cool, like sort of rustic, amber colored beer. And it was sort of the inspiration for Heritage to begin with. So
Huh.
we have Brigitte to thank for Heritage. Thank you, thank you. I wouldn't have brewed this beer if you hadn't been so sweet and given us your mother's beer recipe.
That's so
Um,
cool. And that one's become such a success too. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's becoming a really good success for us. It's like I said, it's kind of our flagship now,
Mhm.
and it's sort of climbing, climbing, climbing. So we're getting behind it and putting some marketing dollars there too.
Great. That's great to hear. So kind of getting into some of the like behind the scenes type of questions.
Yeah,
If someone is new to your brewery and what's something that maybe they should know but they don't, like a fun fact.
fun fact.
Hmm.
Gosh, I mean, probably that the guy in charge has been doing it for almost a quarter of a century, which
Yeah.
seems absurd. That's one thing. We have fun, here, and if we're not going to drink it, we're not going to ask y'all to drink it. So it has to pass our tests and our pretty stringent QA/QC.
Hmm.
Um, and we have certain hopes for these beers and targets for the beers. So it's like, yeah, we have to meet those, targets and the true to types and true to brands and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
And we're pretty meticulous about it.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What kind of trends are you seeing in craft beer these days, and then how do you guys respond?
Well, I think it's difficult because you see two things, on opposite sides of the spectrum. Like I did my little Trump dance, that was fun. But it's two very very different things. You see a lot of folks going back, believe it or not. Like we're seeing a lot of folks going back to like imperial type beers, like very
Yeah.
very strong, very very big flavors. But then you're also going back towards the other side of things with lower ABV, crushable sort of what do the kids call them, crispy boys or whatever, and you definitely see some of that too. We have, I guess, in the past, I don't know too much about it, but we have in the past done like an American light lager, and that may or may not be on the horizon here pretty soon. But we're going to do it our way. You know what I mean? We're going to do it meticulously. We're going to do it. We've got a plan for it, and this stuff doesn't come. You're not shooting from the hip with it. We have a reason that we're doing certain things, and it may be different than other folks, but
Mhm.
we like it our way, and hopefully, other people like it too. But I think those more clean and crisp beers at low ABV are pretty much on the horizon too. The rise of lager is coming.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got your finger on the pulse, and obviously you got the experience to back that up.
hopefully,
So that's
hopefully.
cool. Yeah. Um, where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
5 years, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's talk of all kinds of stuff, but everything's sort of in just talking about it phase right
Mhm.
now. I would see maybe a satellite tap room 5-10 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Just a place where we can get information back and just
Mhm.
have a gathering place that sort of third space for
Mhm.
folks to come and learn more about our brand and learn more about our beers and learn more about us, and we can learn about them, and that's super fun.
Yeah.
Just a place to celebrate with everybody. That's the goal anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And not the one down in Texas.
Oh no, not that, maybe not that. Well, maybe I've lived in Texas before, and I've lived in Dallas before, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like it here, right? For now, I like it in Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably would have missed that nice snowstorm that we had last night or yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from New Hampshire originally, so snow's not a thing to me. I grew up
Oh.
in this stuff, but that's not. I mean, it was kind of funny, like coming down here today. I live in Ankeny, about an hour and a half, you know, west, I guess.
Mhm.
And we got about 5.5 inches of snow. And down here, it was barely an inch.
Oh
So the
wow.
drive in was like, Ankeny, oh no. Altoona, oh, this is worse. And then get down into Pleasant Hill, and it was like, oh, all right, this isn't so bad. Monroe, everything's cool. Roads are clear from Monroe down to
Oh
Oski.
wow.
So that was a neat drive. But I was up at 3 a.m. shoveling. I have
Yeah.
I have four boys, and I'm the one shoveling. So when I hit 50, which is going to be next year, I'm not shoveling anymore. I'm done.
Well, that's when you just need to get like a flamethrower or something and just
Say
just light it
less,
up.
fam. Say less. I'm on it.
That's always the idea. No, that's pretty cool though. So kind of getting into some of the closing questions. If someone could only try three different things
Yeah.
that you put out, whether it's, one of the more fun ones or one of the like the really popular selling beers, what would you recommend?
Not really. This is not really. I would obviously, as a this is a business, so I would say, please, yoga, please, the heritage, please, Midwest. I'm juggling now. No, I'm not. Of course, try those. And this is not real. This beer is not for me. It's a new school sort of beer, but these Shoreless Echoes
Mhm.
are. It's a hazy double IPA, and there's this hop that we're using that is consistent in it called.
Mhm.
It's from West Coast Hop Breeding, the same folks that grow the what the heck was it? The Mackenzie hop I was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
But this one's called. It used to be called 2B. They're calling it 102 now.
Mhm.
It's absolutely spectacular. Nobody really knows about it except John Kimmick up at Alchemist in Vermont.
Yeah.
He knows about it, and it's. I think it's going to take the world by storm. Personally, like
Huh.
I think it's the next Citra. Honestly,
Huh. Cool.
yep. If it has the agronomics that we think it does, then that's one of the cool things is
Yeah.
that I still know the farmers who grow these hops, so
Mhm.
that's kind of fun. That's kind of a fun thing, and they say it has the agronomics to be one of those hops. So
Huh.
if my friend Eric is listening from West Coast Hop Breeding, please keep doing the good job and fighting the good fight and grow these hops. It's difficult out there right now, but
Yeah.
we're turning the corner. I think we're turning the corner.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's something to look out for.
Heck
That's really
yeah.
cool. What's the best way for people to stay connected with what you guys are doing?
The kids on the Facebook and the Instagram. Just look us up there.
Okay.
You could always follow me. It's not as interesting, but I think mine's at Humble Brewer on Instagram. But yeah, check out NoCoast on Instagram and Facebook. And I don't think we do TikTok because I don't really know how to dance, so there's no need for that.
That's all
Oh,
right.
maybe I
You're a brewery,
could.
not a yeah, not a dance club.
I would go viral pretty quick and then fizzle away. It would be sad. We don't need to see a 50-year-old like.
No, you and me both. I can't. You'll never catch me on there
No.
for sure. Any final thoughts or messages for people considering a visit or considering trying some of the beer?
If you do want to visit, just give us an email,
Mhm.
and it'll get to me, and I can set up a tour or whatever. I love talking about beer. I love
Mhm.
educating people about beer because I think it's important. It's made my life more full.
Yeah.
I had talked to Jim Koch, who is the owner of Samuel Adams, or is the owner of Samuel Adams at one point, and this is years ago when I used to work at Red Hook. This is like 2006 or something, and he had said that the philosophy is drink less, drink better, and
Hmm.
I stand. I think that's something that stands. I think beer can be a good social lubricant. It can
Mhm.
be fun because you're trying new things, but keep it in moderation. I mean, like all things.
Mhm.
But yeah, we want to make the beers generally speaking across the board. Not that 13.5% stout. Don't have four of those. But if
Yeah.
you want, I would want people to sit down and enjoy a couple of our beers, and yeah, and then look forward to the next time that they try our beer and have something new for them. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, always something to look forward to. So
Heck yeah, drink less, drink better. I think those are wise words.
that's a good way to put it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate having you on, and I'll make sure to link to your website and your socials in
Sweet.
the description for
Thanks, man.
all,
Oh yeah,
all
the
the good
website too. I didn't even think that. Yeah, I guess you can visit our website.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put it all on there for people to follow you guys. So
Sweet,
yeah.
sweet.
Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for today. Be sure to check out some of our other exclusive interviews with the people from the best breweries in the Midwest. Bye now.